Australians are holding their breath tonight as the most powerful storm in living memory threatens destruction in northern Queensland. Category 5 severe tropical cyclone Yasi is expected to make landfall in about 2 hours. The Bureau of Meteorology now believes Yasi will score a direct hit on Innisfail, devastated by Cyclone Larry in 2006. Prime Minister Julia Gillard has warned of frightening hours ahead. More than 10,000 people in North Queensland have sought refuge in evacuation centres. Premier Anna Bligh says it's too late to leave, and wind speeds of up to 295 kilometres per hour are predicted. That's faster than the all-time record set by Cyclone Vance in 1999. Gale force winds are already battering the state, with reports of a roof ripped off a building in Innisfail and trees down in Cardwell. An evacuation unprecedented in the state's history has taken place, with tens of thousands of residents fleeing or seeking shelter in evacuation centres. But those who have stayed are expecting the worst.
Preparing for the worst, military crews are on standby. Cyclone Yasi's landfall is imminent.
This cyclone is a deadly event, so we're expecting that we may have to pick up bodies at some point in time.
In the path of a monster, Innisfail is bracing for its first Category 5 cyclone. Having weathered the Category 4 Cyclone Larry in 2006, residents here are expecting the worst.
Losing the house, losing friends. It's scary, it is, it really is.
We live across the road from the river and it's in a pretty old house, so we needed somewhere safe to come.
Both of the hospitals in Cairns have been evacuated, more than 200 patients transferred to Brisbane.
And they've executed it absolutely perfectly, and that's the sort of service that they're going to give you in the next 24 hours and every day after that.
Packing winds of up to 300 kilometres an hour, even cyclone-proof buildings could be destroyed. When Yasi crosses the coast, the front will completely cover the area between Townsville and Cooktown. Cairns and Innisfail are right in the path of the most powerful part of the storm. To give you an idea of Yasi's enormity, it would almost completely cover the United States. The eye alone is as big as Cyclone Tracy, which devastated Darwin in 1974. The storm will hit at the worst possible time, high tide. The coast could be battered by waves as high as 12 metres. State disaster authorities are predicting the town of Cardwell will experience a tidal surge of up to 7 metres. There'll be a surge of around 4 metres in Innisfail, at least 3 metres in Cairns and 2.9 metres in Townsville. The Prime Minister had some encouraging words for those still in the cyclone's path.
Our thoughts are with you. In this time, as you face these frightening hours, we are with you in spirit.
Yasi is expected to lose power as it crosses the coast, but it will still be destructive as it moves inland. It's expected to lash the city of Georgetown, 300 kilometres from the coast, at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, still with the strength of a Category 3 cyclone. Sam Eichen, World News Australia.
SBS reporter Peter Jane Madam is in Mackay, where residents don't expect the worst of the cyclone but are on high alert all the same.
The situation isn't as extreme further south here in Mackay. The wind is picking up slightly and it has been raining on and off. But of course, Mackay is expected to escape those tidal surges which are forecast to inundate places like Cairns and Townsville. So for residents of Mackay and surrounding areas, the waiting game now begins. Preparations have been done for many days now. People have been cleaning up, they've been taping windows, taking trips to the dump.
We spent the whole morning sandbagging for all these old people, and they give us all these sandbags to give us hands. So,
Do you think they'll do the job?
We hope so.
With Cyclone Yasi now just hours away, a lot of locals are trying to take the edge off any way they can.
And the alcohol's good. Of course, you gotta have the alcohol on cyclone day.
When it comes to cyclones, it isn't just looking after people's safety or their properties, it's also looking after the smaller things in life, pets.
These two little puppies, they're too busy fight each other. They'll just get swept away if the rains and the tidal surge comes through, so better off taking care of them.
Yeah.
Then there are those locals who need to look out for larger assets.
Well, it's definitely big, so it'll be a new experience for everybody. I know they compare it with Cyclone Tracy. I was only a lad then, so can't remember much about that. But yeah, we just have to wait and see. The one that hit Innisfail a few years ago was bad enough. So we've got a fairly strong breeze here now, and it's so far up north. It's a lot windier than what I thought it was going to be.
As the countdown to Cyclone Yasi begins, residents in Mackay can rest easy knowing that they've escaped the worst of it. However, they will be looking in anticipation to see how the rest of their fellow Queenslanders fared tomorrow morning. In Mackay, Peter J. Madam, World News, Australia.
Now, this is the scene in Townsville, recorded on a webcam by a motorist. Heavy rain is lashing the town, and police say the effects of the cyclone could last up to 12 hours. And around 30 kilometres northeast of Townsville is Palm Island. Former Mayor Robert Blackley is there, and I spoke with him a few moments ago.
There's a lot of wind and a lot of rain. Just before I lost light out the front of the house, I noticed someone's antenna and a bit of their roof in front of my yard. There's a few things banging around, and the wind's pretty extreme. Getting very worried.
And very quickly, why did you decide to stay and not evacuate on the island?
Well, I guess protection of property and our animals, and my perception that the flat that I live in, under the stairwell of the flat, could quite possibly be one of the strongest places I could be at. But, unfortunately we're in a sort of storm surge area, so I'm sure the stairwell will hold up. Just hope the water doesn't come in, the seawater.
OK. Robert Blackley, good luck. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
No worries.
Despite repeated warnings to stay indoors, some people are dicing with danger as the cyclone approaches. This video, posted on the internet, shows a woman walking along the foreshore in Airlie Beach as huge waves break onto land. It comes as Queensland Premier Anna Bligh warned earlier today people should be in a place of safety and stay away from the beaches. Coming up, Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak's promise to